Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. It's TSB here. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, for more content. We'll be talking about psychology related topics, and anything else that you guys are really interested in talking about here. But today I wanted to start this series on how to journal effectively for dealing with depression. But today I want to start with some of the nuts and bolts that are really going to get you started and to make sure that you're doing this in a way that can be very beneficial for you, and that's going to be the most helpful. And so let's talk about some very basic things about journaling for depression. So first and foremost, we want to talk about what your medium is. So what is the modality that you're going to be using to convey your thoughts? And this is particularly important because this is what you're going to be using on a consistent basis. And so we want to make sure that whatever you're choosing to use is going to be consistent throughout this process. So are you going to use your computer? Are you going to buy a book to use as a journal? But whatever you're using, we want that to be what you're using consistently. I will tell you that I would recommend using some type of written modality. So a journal or a book you can write in, or a pad and paper for a pen. And the reason why I recommend this is that what I find is that most people who are able to do a good job of really getting to and processing and looking at what they're experiencing are able to do that with writing. And oftentimes the reason that is that typing is, for most people, an overlearned behavior. And because it's so overlearned, they can go on kind of automatic. They just go on autopilot. And when they go on autopilot, then they're able to just kind of flow and just put everything that's going on in their head, but it does not afford them the time to actually look at what they're thinking and really to evaluate what those thoughts, those emotions, their responses, all those things. And so writing actually forces us to slow down a little bit and be able to go through and say, okay, what was I thinking in this position? How was I feeling in this position? And it allows us that a little bit more of the opportunity. But if you prefer computer, it's perfectly fine. But my recommendation is going to be writing. So 2. So how often will you journal? And so this is important as well, because if you're going to get the most out of it, I do recommend journaling daily. That's going to be probably the most effective for you if you can do that. And I'm not saying that you have to journal for an hour or 2 hours each day. Even 5, 10, 15 minutes could be helpful. But you need to know how often are you going to be journaling, because that way you can practice, you can set up your time, you can set up your day in order to make it something that you can actually engage in. Now let's talk about number 3. When will you journal in the day? So once we know how often we're going to journal, so then we have to determine, when are you going to actually journal during the day? Are you going to do it the first thing in the morning? You're going to be talking about what happened in the last day. Or are you going to find time at lunch to write your journal? Or are you going to journal when you get off of work or get done with the gym? Whatever it is, try to make it as consistent as possible, because that's how we develop habits. That's how we develop good habits that are going to stick with you, and you're going to be able to make this something that you're easily able to engage in on a regular basis. One thing that I do recommend is do not journal right before bedtime, particularly if you're going to be talking about things that are emotionally salient or have a lot of emotional valence to you. I would recommend keeping your journal away from bedtime, at least an hour, maybe as little as 30 minutes before bedtime, but try to not journal right then, because you don't want to increase a significant amount of emotional or distress or whatever it may be during that time preceding bedtime and impact your sleep. We already know how much I like talking about sleep and how important sleep is, but we don't want this to interfere with anything else such as sleep. And so where will you journal? That's also an important aspect of it. So we don't want you to be journaling in a place where you're going to be potentially interrupted by other people in the household. So don't journal in the kitchen if people are always entering the kitchen. Don't journal in your bedroom. Again, you don't want to potentially disrupt sleep. So oftentimes for people, that is a place where they can have some good privacy and they can really get into some difficult places. But we don't want to pair that bedroom with significant emotions, particularly if there are negative emotions that you may be addressing in your journaling. So try to avoid the bedroom. If you have a study, try and use that. If you have a man cave, try and use that. But try to find some other place that you can journal consistently where you won't be interrupted by others, so you won't have people coming in and saying, hey, what are you doing? So let's find a good place where you can journal consistently on that daily basis, and make sure that you aren't interrupted and you can stay into those emotions and those thoughts and really explore what's going on for you and really go through your day. The next thing is, how will you protect your thoughts? So this is something that I think is oftentimes overlooked, is that people are concerned about others in their maybe household or family coming across their journal. So let's plan for this. Let's plan for how you're going to make sure that people aren't going to come across your really personal and private thoughts. So if you're going to use a computer, it's really easy to find a way to password protect those files. If you're going to be doing a written version of a journal, then you may want to invest in some sort of lockbox, maybe something like a gun box, where you can use your finger as the opening mechanism. So there are a lot of ways that we can protect our personal thoughts, but I want you to be thinking about those, before we even start this whole journey, this whole process of journaling for dealing with our depressive symptoms. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for coming back, being here. If you still made it to this far in the video, please like and subscribe. Again, hopefully we can make your tomorrow better than today. Have a good one.